Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Sports with John. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament, round one, day one, uh, March 18th, 2022. So we'll start off with Gonzaga, the top overall seed, and they won their game against the 16 seed. So no surprise there. I want to talk more about their next matchup. So Memphis beat Boise State, and so they're going to play Gonzaga now. I think Gonzaga is going to go very far in this tournament. They might very well even win the whole tournament, but Memphis just might give them fits. Now, Memphis has been really inconsistent through the whole year. Some people argued that maybe they shouldn't have been in a tournament, but I think they're fine enough to be in a tournament. It's just that I think they just don't always have it together. But their size, they've got a bunch of big NBA type bodies on that team in Memphis, so they could give Gonzaga some fits. I just think Gonzaga's structure, uh, very good consistency in their play, their depth, I think ultimately will beat Gonzaga. But don't be surprised if Memphis does pull one out. If they shoot well and they commit less turnovers, they have a chance to beat anybody. But I think Gonzaga won that. Now, moving to New Mexico and Arkansas matchup coming up. Now, New Mexico surprised me beating UConn because that was something that I didn't think could happen there. So uh, I don't think I hardly had them picked in most of my brackets that I have out there. I think I only a couple. So that was kind of surprised. New Mexico seems to play pretty tough defense, and they were able to pull it out. I was surprised that UConn was not playing as well as they should have been. So I do think that Arkansas should be able to beat them. I think that'll be something a lot easier for Arkansas to do. So we'll see about that going forward. And then next one, Baylor and UNC. So Baylor's not a team that I have much confidence in at all. I mean, obviously they beat the 16 seed. They beat them pretty handily by like 36 points or whatever it was. So I think obviously Baylor's a really strong team. But look at their next matchup. North Carolina beat Marquette 95-63. I mean, that's for a quote 9 team. That's outstanding what North Carolina did. And I just think that North Carolina is going to beat Baylor. I just do. I think North Carolina is a lot better than what people think. I think they really have been coming on pretty strong toward the end here. And you got to remember, too, they lost to Virginia Tech in the tournament. Virginia Tech is another team that we'll get to here in a little bit, but they've been on fire. So I'm going to make this prediction that North Carolina is going to beat Baylor. And I don't think to me, it won't be much of a surprise, but I'm sure it will be to a lot of other people out there. And then St. Mary's and UCLA matchup. So both of these teams, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in. I know St. Mary's plays in the same division, or I mean conference as Gonzaga does, but they just don't have the same prowess. I think now they beat, they beat Indiana pretty well, but I don't know what if it was just Indiana burnout from all the games that they've had to play lately through the tournament and the play-in and whatnot. But I just don't trust that St. Mary's is going to do as well against UCLA. Now, I will say this: I'm not a fan of UCLA and Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin seems to me always a coach that goes out in the first, second, or third round. So this is about a lot of times where he goes out of the tournament. So I kind of feel like this is somewhat of a toss-up. Wouldn't be surprised either way who wins this one. I'm going to give the slight edge to UCLA just because I think probably they've played a little bit more competition. Mick Cronin's usually pretty good to get to past the second round when he's got a good matchup, which he does here, but I just, whatever on this one to me. Now, I will bring up one point here because, you look at Indiana, right? And they had a playing game, and then they got in and they got crushed. Now, Buzz Williams, Texas A&M, the head coach, who they're in the NIT and they won their first game, he was pointing out, making a big stink, that they should have been in the NCAA tournament. And when you look at his record, he did all this his own research too. He is kind of right. Notre Dame in particular was a team that didn't have a good record, had a lot of losses and stuff pretty much the same as Texas A&M, except Texas A&M beat Notre Dame. So it's like, why would Notre Dame get in instead of Texas A&M getting in? It's the explanation he was asking for, which we don't have here. Another thing is too, um, and we'll get to it later, but there's another team, and Texas A&M probably could have done just as well as Indiana. So, but moving on. So Murray State, St. Peter's, big surprise, St. Peter's winning, and that was an amazing game. I don't know how many of you guys watched it, but that was an amazing game, and definitely one that was a shocker. I think taking down Kentucky for most people. I mean, I can't lie. Even I was surprised about St. Peter's taking Kentucky down. I'm happy. I don't care less for Kentucky being in the bracket. Most of my brackets had them getting eliminated around Elite Eight. So, um, you know, I just don't think Kentucky's as strong as what people make out. I thought they were definitely stronger than this, though. So that was kind of surprising. But kudos to St. Peter's. They'll match up against Murray State, one of my favorite teams. I definitely think Murray State can take them. I think St. Peter's was, just performing in every way perfect possible that they could. I'm not sure they'll be able to bring that again. But, anytime a 15 seed makes it and starts playing lower seeds, they have a shot. So we'll see what happens there. And then Michigan, Tennessee matchup. That's going to be a great matchup. Tennessee's a really tough team this year. I'm not a big Tennessee fan, even though I'm from Tennessee. The College of UT has always been a rival for where I went to school and stuff. So, wouldn't mind seeing them beat. I got family that's from Michigan, so that's kind of an interesting matchup for me. Now, I will say this, we were talking about Buzz Williams and Texas A&M. Colorado State got in as a 6, and they were a conference champion and whatnot, I believe. But, here again, Buzz Williams probably is like, what the heck? Why Colorado State at number 6? I mean, hell, you could even put like Murray State, who we just talked about, and North Carolina and Memphis and those guys at number 6. I don't understand the number 6 ranking for Colorado State. I went into this going, that's way too high. Michigan's a really good team playing a big, tough conference. I think I picked Michigan in pretty much every single bracket I had, just about. So I'm not surprised. A lot of people are going to be surprised. I'm not surprised on that one. And again, that's where Buzz Williams, I think, has a point. And then Kansas and Creighton. What Creighton? If you guys didn't see the Creighton game, you should go back and look at that, because it's amazing that Creighton even pulled this out. They only play about 6, maybe 7 guys on their rotation, which is nuts. 5 starters, and you're only got maybe 1 or 2 guys like coming off the bench. It's crazy. And then they had 2 guys go down, so they were relying on backups to come in that don't play all that much. And when I say 6, 7 guys, I'm talking kind of like minutes and points. You look at the minutes, and they're not getting 10, 15 minutes a game, and they're not scoring over 5 points a game. So all of a sudden, you're asking this person to come in and play on a high-end level. So that's pretty amazing that Creighton pulled that win out, especially when they were down with a couple minutes left. I don't think they'll provide too much of a challenge to Kansas. I think Kansas will probably steamroll them pretty well. And then Richmond, Providence. So that was an interesting matchup there. I'm not surprised that Richmond pulled it out. They're a much better team than what a lot of people think they are. And they caught fire again. They've been on fire for a while now. I am a little bit surprised that Iowa didn't pull this out. I kind of thought they were doing well. I don't know if like a tournament loss sort of shaped them on this game or what it was, but kudos to Richmond for pulling that out. They have a chance to beat Providence, I think. I don't think Providence is really strong. I think there's a good chance that Richmond could pull this out. And then just talking a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about South Dakota State too. That's a really good team. They had a tough matchup, I think, in Providence. They had a chance to do it, but it just seemed like they ran out of steam. But kind of a tough draw for San Diego State or South Dakota State there. So, kudos to them for making a tournament and fighting hard. But anyway, so that's who I think. We'll probably do a follow-up video after day 2 is done. And let me guys know let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe over here. And make sure you give me comments. Appreciate it. And thank you all. Have a good one. Bye.